Hello everyone. Wanting to know what are for loops in Python, why are for loops so important, when to make a for loop in Python, and of course how to make a for loop in Python, then this video is just made for you. In this video, we'll look at for loops, iterating over strings, lists, and dictionaries. We'll also look at the break statement, continue statement, and how to work with nested for loop in Python. So let's get started. If you have been following us along from the previous video, you know we were going shopping and using the if, else if, else statement, and even the nested if else. We chose a brand for our shopping, from which brand we will be shopping. Now using for loops, we are going to do our actual shopping and our billing for our shopping. So let's make a list. List is what? List is nothing but a collection of items of different data. So let's have the items that we want to buy. So the items that we are buying are shirts. So we are doing shopping for some clothes. Okay, shirts, then some jeans. These are all one single we are buying. Okay, then we are buying sneakers, some pair of nice branded sneakers, and watch, and lastly a cap. And also, so what are all of these things? These are all text, right? So that is why I'm putting them inside quotes. And the next thing that I want is a list of the price of all these items. So we are having them. Now what is price? Price are numbers, so we will not put them in quotes. So the price, let's take the shirt is of 1,000 rupees, jeans being 2,000, sneakers being 3,000, watch being 4,000, and cap being 1,500. So let's run both of these cells. Now what is the task? So these are the shopping materials that I'm going to be shopping one by one in this order. As soon as I shop, and I want a message, I want to receive a message, you brought shirts, then you brought jeans, and so on up to you brought caps. This is what I want, a message that I want, and I have to get this message using for loop. Why should I use the for loop for this purpose? Because this is a repetitive task that I want to do. I want to print again and again, you brought this, you brought that, and I know how many times I want this task to be performed. For shirt, then for jeans, like this I want 5 times this should be performed. So when you have a repetitive task, you have a repetitive program. Suppose here I have a repetitive task of printing again and again the same thing. You brought, just the material is going to be different what I bring, and I know how many times I want to repeat the task. Here it is 5 times. When such a case is there in front of you, you should definitely know that you have to go with for loops. When you have a repetitive task and you know how many times that task is to be repeated, you go for loop. Now let's learn the syntax of for loop. So for loop is basically like this. What do you have? You have a code block that is there before your for loop. Then you have to write compulsorily for. Basically you have to have f also in small case. That's the keyword that is there for starting a for loop. Then you should have a iterating variable. Here I have taken I. What is an iterative variable? You will understand it later. Here you can have any name. You can give name anything. I have written I. You could write A, B, C, D, or you could write name, or you could write item. Anything would have been written in the place of I. Then there will come compulsorily in keyword, and there will be a collection. Collection basically includes anything like string or a list or a dictionary. So now what is that? That also we'll see. So basically in collection you will have more than one element, and you want your for loop to run for each of these elements. Then after the collection you have a compulsory colon sign and a code, a set of codes that will be running for each of the elements in the collection. And after all the codes are run, after the code is run for each of the element, we come and run the code block that is after the for loop. So let's take for an example. I have something like this. So my iterating variable name I have given NO, that's number. My collection is a list having elements 1, 2, 3, and for each of the element, what do I want to do? I want to print number is and NO. NO is basically meaning whatever the value NO will take. So and then obviously before the for loop I want to print numbers, and after all of the elements are done with this code block running, I want to print done. This is what I have to do. So let's run and see what will happen. First thing, starting from the starting, firstly print numbers. So numbers will be printed, then this for loop will be entered. So firstly NO will take the first element value. NO is becoming 1. Then as soon as NO becomes 1, we go inside this code and this is run. So what is printed? Number is NO, whatever value NO is taking. Then what will happen, as soon as this code that is there inside runs, this will again go up. It will not exit the for loop, it will go up and check whatever was the previous value of NO. Was it the last value of the collection? Was 1 the last value of the collection? No. Because it is no, it will take the next element in that collection. So now NO becomes 2. NO has become 2, and then we go inside the whatever there is in the code, and that is printing number is NO. So now NO has taken the value 2, so that is printed, number is 2. Now again, as soon as whatever code is there in this ping blocks runs, again we go up to the for loop and check, was 2 the last element of the collection? No. So now number will take the value 3, and it will run the snippet of code that is there in the ping box, and that is number is 3. Now it will again go up and check, was 3 the last element of the collection? Yes. Now it becomes true. Now since it becomes true, now no collection is there left, no element is left. So we come out of the for loop, and what is there after the for loop? It is print done. So done is printed. Now one thing that I forgot to say, whatever code you write after the semicolon, that is compulsory, you have to write semicolon, your code that has to be run each and every time should be indented. That basically means it should not be in the same alignment with for, it should be some spaces ahead of for. Now when we write in Jupyter Notebook, you will understand. So this is for, okay. Now let's take an example. Now what I said, what was our example? As in we buy our items, we want, what do we want? We want a printing of you bought what, okay. So let's simply write what we will be having. We will have the for keyword, let's write it in small case, for keyword. Then let's take the iterating variable. You can take anything, maybe these are items, so I can take my iterating variable as item. You can take anything, you can take it as I also, or T also, or A, B, C, D, anything. In is compulsory keyword, and we will be having certain collections, okay. Then we'll see what the collection is, and a colon and some spaces. Again I prefer taking 4 spaces, so I've taken 4 spaces. Now what do I want to do for each of them? I want to print something. For each element I want to do a printing, and the printing is you brought something, okay. I'll be bringing something. Let me just use this for dot for. So this is a way in which you print, okay. I want to print something, and what is that something? I will put round curly brackets, then I will just complete the colon, then I have to write dot format. This is a method how you print strings, okay. And whatever I want to print in this place of colon, I will write inside dot format, okay, whatever it is going to be. So what is the collection that I am taking? Let's now what I want to go for shirts, then I want to go for jeans, then I want to go for sneakers. So let's take this list only. Let's take the items list as our list, okay. I'll just write the name as items. So what I am doing for item in items, what does it mean? For each of the elements, item is going to be taking value as first shirt, then jeans, then sneakers, and then cap till cap. And for each item I want to print. What do I want to print? I want to print item, yeah. Now what does this actually mean? When you will run this and see, then you will understand. So what happened each time? So I'll just keep the list also in front of us so we get a better explanation. So this was our list and this is our code. We have for, then we have item. Item is going to take first shirts, okay, then jeans, then sneakers, then watch, then cap, the value of item. In keyword and then items, this is this list, and we want to do this printing. How is the printing I've written? I want to print the string you bought and I want to print something in this place. I'm writing curly bracket because this is a dot format method of printing something. Then I'll close my brackets, then I have dot format. Inside my curly, after format I have a brackets, and inside my bracket I have to write what I want in the place of round bracket, curly brackets. I know I want the value of item. Now let's check one by one. So first round, item will take the value shirt, okay. Item took the value shirt, that is the first element, and it printed you bought shirts because that was the value of item. Then it came again, it ran up and saw that is shirt the last element? No. Then it took the value next, that is jeans, and it then inside code ran and we got you bought jeans. Then again we went up and it saw Python compiler saw that now the jeans was also not the last element, so the next element that item will take is sneakers, and then it printed you bought sneakers, and again it checked was this the last element? No. It went on till cap. Then when it took the value of cap and when it ran again up to see was cap the last element of this items list, yes it was. So it could not go ahead, it just printed you bought cap and it exited, the for loop was exited. If I want, I can have a code that is going to be running after the for loop gets over, done shopping, okay. Maybe I can have something like this. Now you see, now all of them ran, and after cap for loop ended and whatever was there after the for loop, print done shopping ran. So this is what I did. In the place of my list, my collection, I actually placed that exact list, and this is where I'm using the original elements list for iterating. By the way, this is called, let's take some terminology alert. This is called as the iterating variable, which is going to be taking different values, and we have how many iterations? So iterating variable takes how many values? It took shirt, it took jeans, it took 5 values. So we had 5 iterations, okay. This is some terminology. Now one more way in which I could have done my iteration is using a list of numbers. So since I want 5 iterations, so starting from 0 I will take 5 elements, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what does this make? This is 5 elements, and I do the same thing, okay. Let me just copy what I did over here. In the place of items list, now I will place my new list that I have made, naming list, okay. Let me run this cell, by the way. Yeah, and here now what is the values that item is going to be taking? Item will first take 0, then item will take 1. So what do I want to print? I want to print the items list, may say item, let's take this as I, okay. Now I will explain you what this basically means. So we have a list which is 0, 1, 2 up to 4, okay. Then for I in list, that basically means I is going to take the value 0, then it will take 1, then it will take 2, 3, 4, 1 by 1. Then we want to print for each of the time you brought, what did I bring, dot format. Whatever I write inside dot format is what is going to be printed inside this curly bracket. Items ka element. So this is the way you access elements of a list. If you are not aware of how lists work, how to access elements of a list, you can, after this video gets over, you can watch a complete tutorial video in lists in Python. I have given the link to the description box below, okay. Now here you can see what we do. from the items list. Okay, what is items? It is our list. Take the ith element. So first take the 0th element, that is going to be shirt for the first time. Then take the first element when I is taking the value 1. Items ka first element, that is why items 1. We'll run this and see, then you will maybe understand it. So what happened over here? First, in the first round, I took the value 0 and it printed from items the 0th element. You brought shirt. So what was the 0th element? That means the first element. In Python, 0 is the first element position. It printed shirt. Then obviously the for loop didn't end because 0 was not the last element in list. The second element was 1. Then it printed you brought what from items, take the first element. So this is the 0, this is the first. So it took jeans and it printed you brought jeans. This went on up to 4. So it took the value 4. I took the value 4 and it found that I printed you brought which item, that was the last fourth item, cap, and then it checked up that is for the last element. Yes, it was. So it comes out of the for loop, our program, and it prints what is there after the for loop, that is done shopping. This is how for loop works. Now what were we doing all this while? One thing that we were doing without any constraint, we were shopping for everything. Whatever we had, this was in our mind, we wanted to shop for all of this and we shopped that. Is that true? No, that is not true. In real life, when you go shopping, you can't buy everything that you have planned. Have these constraints, right? You can't buy anything that is more than this amount. Like, you know, here in our case, suppose our budget is 8,000 and we have to buy so many stuffs, right? If shirts are only going to cost me 4,000 and jeans 4,000, my 8,000 is going to go. I can't buy the rest of the items. So there are times when you go shopping, you have this constraint that anything is going to be above this particular amount, I'll not buy that. I'll buy something else. So that is very common. So that is called as a constraint of expense. So maybe let's keep our constraint. Let's say our budget for shopping is 8,000 and anything about 4,000, above the cost of 4,000, we will not buy. That means according to this price, we will be buying shirts because that is of 1,000 rupees. Jeans also we will buy because it's 2,000. Sneakers also we will buy because it's 3,000. But anything greater than or equal to 4,000 we will not buy. Let's keep the price as 5,000. Okay. So 4,500. We will not buy watch and we will not buy cap also. Okay. So these are the stuffs we'll buy cap. Sorry, we'll buy cap because it is not greater than or equal to 4,000. So that's a constraint. But in my for loop, what is happening? Each and every value is being taken, and for each and every value, the code inside the for loop is running. So how should I, do? What should I do? So there is when comes the continue statement. What will we do now? Let's just simply copy this. Okay, let's just simply copy this thing. Okay, there's a reason why I'm taking this one and not the items one directly. I'm taking the list where I used I is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now this is what I have. Now I'll be putting a constraint. What I want to do for each item, for each iteration basically, I want to check something. And what do I check? I check that price of I is greater than 4,000. By the way, it's a condition, so I have to have the if statement. If the condition price of I is greater than 4,000, then please continue. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? Let's understand it. This continue statement basically states start with for I in list. By the way, what is LIST? LIST is the list as 0, 1, 2, 3, list of numbers from 0 to 4. So I will take value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If price of I, what does this mean? Let's go, what is price? Price is the list. If price of I means price of 0, first time, that is the first element. if this value is greater than 4000. That basically means this. Let me just copy this also. So what we are doing over here is checking if price of I is greater than 4000. So in the first round it will check price of the zeroth element, is it greater than 4000. In the second round it will check the price of first element, is that value greater than 4000, like this. Okay, price is the list. If this is so, if this condition is true, what is to be done? Continue is to be run. Now what do I mean by continue? This we will see by actually running this code. So this being our list, what is our list? This is our list. What is the result that you are actually seeing? Let's check it. So now there is a problem. First shirts was printed, jeans was printed, sneakers were printed, but wash did not get print, cap was printed. So what exactly happened? So the first value that I took on the basis of list was 0. Then it went inside the loop and it was to check is the price of I. So price, what is price? Price is this, I means the zeroth element. So price of I is greater than 4000. If it is, then it has to continue. If it is not, then no problem. Then whatever is there, it printed. If it is not, that basically means if this condition is not true, you have to run whatever is given in the for loop below this, below continue. It ran that. Then it went again, it took the value 1 and it checked is price of 1. That basically means from price, see the first element, that is first position element. So this is 0 position, this is 1 position. So 2000. It is greater than 4000? No. Here we got the answer as false. So if it is true, then only this continue would run. Because it is false, whatever is given after continue runs, and we get this you brought jeans. This went on, this was the same thing for sneakers. But when it came to watch, what is the price of the third element? This is 0, 1, 2, 3. It is 4500. So price of 3 was greater than 4000. Therefore, because this came to be true, continue ran. And what did continue do? Whatever was there after continue to be running inside the for loop did not run, and it immediately went up back from here only. Normally what happens is for loop, whatever is to be run runs, and then we go back to the for loop for the next iteration, for I to take the next value. But what does continue basically do? It will not, if the continue is true, if this condition becomes true, we go to continue, and continue will go directly up for the next iteration. And that is what happened for watch. Because this condition became true, for price of 3 was greater than 4000, continue ran and directly we go up. That basically means continue takes to the next iteration. Whatever is there after it will not run, and the next iteration became 4. Price of 4 was just 1500. This being false, this ran, and then again the loop went up. It saw that 4 was the last element. So let's run out of the for loop and print done shopping ran. This is what you call as continue. If you have not understood, let's explain, let's learn again what continue exactly means. So you have a block of code. You will have your block of code. You have your for I in the collection, your collection whatever it is. Then you have a code that is to be run inside the for loop for each of the items in the collection or each of the elements in the collection. But the first code snippet that we have is the continue statement. That is, if we have a condition that is to be checked, and then we have colon, and then we have continue, and then we have some code that is to be run. So each time the element I is taking a value, and inside the code first thing is done, if a condition is true, if the condition comes out to be true, continue runs. if the condition, this particular condition that is given does not come out to be true, the code block runs. But what happens if continue runs? Continue will not allow this code block to run for that value of I, and it will directly go up and I will take the next value. So like this, let's take the easiest example that I have for you. So I takes value for I in 1, 2, 3, 4. So my collection is a list of 1 to 4. The what is to be running for each element? This pink box is to be running. First, in the pink box, it is to check the condition. If I is 2 colon compulsory colon, showing that the condition is ended, now the code is to be run, and that is continue. And then if the continue is not coming to be true, what is to be done? We have to print I. So first thing, the I took the value 1 and this condition came out to be false, that is why continue did not run, and we got print as 1. Then it went up, I took the value 2 and this condition came to be true, that is why continue ran, and this whole box did not run. Continue directly went up, and the next value was taken. This is what continue does. It will immediately take the Python program to go up and take the next value in the collection and run the whole thing next. So 3 was taken, this condition came out to be false, so print I, 3 was printed. Then it went again up, I took the value 4, this condition was checked, it came out to be false, and 4 was printed. So this is what basically I wanted to explain you about continue. So hope that you know how continue works now. Now that was about continue. Now one more thing that is there, you don't only have this constraint of expense. One more constraint that we normally have is budget expense. That is, I will only spend amount that I have as my budget. I will not go beyond my budget in my shopping. What does that mean? As soon as my budget is reached, I stop shopping. How will I do that? Because when I have given a collection, right, I have already given a collection, and for loop is going to run every time, and each time it is checking if this is the last element, then only for loop exists. For loop will come to an end. Now how will I give it a condition that if this much amount is reached, please get back and stop the for loop, don't run ahead, don't go to the next iteration? That is using the break statement. Now one more thing that I want to tell you, let me just show you a for loop to calculate the total amount. Okay, before you go into the break statement, let's see how to calculate the total amount we are spending using for loop. So we'll just write our code that we have. So let me just copy this normal easy wala code. Okay, and I will show you how you can do that. We'll have a variable total which will be initialized to 0. So I will give it the amount 0, and each time in the for loop, total will become whatever the value of total is previously plus price of I. Okay, what is it, you will understand. Okay, and at the last I want to print how much I am spending. Okay, print the value of total. So when I run this, you will understand. So what is happening, let's see. So total is taking the value 0. By the way, let's add all our prices and see. So this becomes 1000 plus 2000, 3000, then 6000. Then here adding this 2, we get 12,000, right? So the price is total actually 12,000. Now what will happen is, let's show what happened. Total was given the value 0 first, then in the for loop I have written whatever amount total has, that will be every time added with previous amount plus price of I. That basically means I will take the value 0, at that time total is equal to 0 because that is the value 0 plus price of 0. So what was there in price of 0? 1000. Then so that now what does total become? total became 1000. Then the loop will runs again, I takes the value 1, then again this will run, and now total will become whatever total was previously, it was 1000 plus the price of 1, that is 2000. So total became 3000. Then this way it ran till end, and now we got a total of 1200. Now that we have this, now I will show you how you will calculate. So each time there will be a condition that will be checked. If my total amount exceeds how much? Exceeds 8000, because I told you our budget is 8000. What should happen? Break should happen. What will this do? Now what was happening in the continue? Continue, whenever this condition became true, continue would run. If this condition was not true, after continue whatever code was given, that was run. And what did continue do? It did not allow the next code to run for that value of I. It directly took up and it took the next value of I. Whatever was the next value of I, that was run. But what did the break statement do? Whenever this condition became true, when did it become? It braked. What does this break mean? Directly go down. So I'll just show you with this thing, so you will understand it better. So what happens with break? First, it is telling if for I in 1, 2, 3, 4, if I is equal to 3, break and print this value, okay, and code block. So what happens, one thing, that first I takes the value 1. Is this condition true? No, it is not true. That is why break will not happen and the value of I will be printed. So 1 gets printed. Then I is equal to 2. The next iteration, is this value equal to 3? I no. So break is not run and print is printed. 2 is printed. Then I takes the value 3. Now is the value of I 3? Yes. So this becomes true and break runs. What does break runs? As soon as this condition becomes true, break will bring the iteration directly down. The next whatever collection mein jo bhi hai, whatever is there, next iterations will not take place. So here I have written wrong, okay. Output will be only 1 and 2. As soon as I took the value 3, break condition became true and we come out of the for loop immediately. So that was the break statement. So here you can see what we did. Every time we were calculating the total, and then the total was getting updated as we were doing the shopping, and soon as the value of I total becomes greater than or equal to 8000, let me just print and see what all we are buying. So you see, what are we buying? We are buying shirts, we are buying jeans, we are buying sneakers. So here it becomes 3000, 1000, then this is of 2000, so 3000, this is 4, 5, 6000. And watch is, what is the price of watch? What is the price of watch? Let me see. Let's see if we are doing something wrong, or where is my price. Let me just copy this whole thing, okay. Yeah, 8000 it is becoming. So this is our price, right? So when I did my addition, first in the first round total becomes 1000 because total was initially 0. Then it got added up, 0 plus price of 0, that was 1000. Then it became 3000, okay. Then it became 6000. Then it became 8500. So then also there is a mistake, okay. There is a mistake. What is happening over here? That we are exceeding the amount. Matlab ki we are not checking, we are checking the condition over here. So I took the value 1000, this condition was false, total became 1000. Then I took the value 2, I took the value 1, then total became 3000. Then I took the value 2, then total became 6000. Then I took the value 4. So before that it was 6000. So that is why it was checking, is the total greater than or equal to 8000? No, it was not. So this ran and we brought watch. then it exceeded the value got exceeded, it became 8500. So what if, how will I solve this problem? Let me just copy the whole thing and show you one more thing that you can do. It's your wish, okay, wherever you want to put this break statement. So what if I put the break statement below over here? So what will happen, the first time this will run, and then it will calculate the total amount, means after running the total amount is calculated. Okay, now when I run, let me see, is it doing any better? No, it is not doing any better. So now I understand. So here we actually require continue also. Okay, so let me just make some changes so you can understand it more better. So what I am doing, I am telling that if the total price is greater than or equal to 8000, you have to break. Okay, now let us just do another problem. So what happened here, when I ran this cell, as soon as this becomes greater than 4000, we actually stop. So our budget actually went a little too much higher. Okay, but still it tried to solve our problem some way, that it did not allow us to exceed more than that. It just break as soon as it found that our amount is going above 8000. So we can also have this case of, let's say 7000 पे ही break कर दो. Now let's see what is this working like. Still it is buying the watch because 6000 यहाँ पर हो रहा है and यहाँ पर 8000 हो रहा है. So that is the case. So that is one thing. So let's have the one thing that I will tell you is, let's have the continue and the break both together. Okay, so let's see if that solves our problem. So let me bring the continue statement, and now let's see if still it is breaking. Okay, let's add a little more of values, right? Let's add a little more of values. So let's go to items. Where is my items? Let's add some more stuffs. What should we add? So let's add, yeah, so let's add some sunglasses and some, we are doing shopping, right? Let's add some t-shirts. Okay, so I have just done this to addition, and I'll just add the prices also, 1450 110, yeah, something like this. Now let me just run this and let's see if now it is helping us in any way. Yeah, now let me run. I have having both of them. Okay, if the price is greater than or equal to 4000, by the way we have equal to 4000. Now let's see what happened. So we actually now see break has very much helped us in this case. What did break do? Break first we had every time the for loop, what is the code that we want to run each and every time? This whole thing we want to run. Okay, this is the for loop. So here you can see we have so many things to run each of the time. So every time the price is checked, and if it is greater than or equal to 4000, continue will happen, that is next iteration will be taken and the rest of the thing will not be checked. If this is not true, then printing will be done for the item, total price will be calculated, and if the total price exceeds 7000 rupees, so we are having our price, our budget as 8000, but we are trying to stop it as 7000 only. And if our budget exceeds this value, any amount, then we will break, means we will not do the rest of the shopping. So till here we had 3000, then sneakers 6000, then 4000 watch was not calculated because using continue that was skipped. Then what I forgot, 6000 we have reached, right? Then 7500 we reached, so 7000 was exceeded, right? 4000 we have told break के लिए 7000 exceed हो गया, we got 7500, rest of the thing could not be bought and we just came out using the break. You can add this break and continue wherever, at the start, at the beginning, according to your requirements. So that was break and continue for loops. Now the next thing that I am telling is strings, because I told you that you can use strings also as the collection. Why you can use strings? For that I have to actually tell you what are strings. Strings is nothing, it is just a collection of characters. So I can have a string name. What is my brand? So I can just give a brand name Para, right? So this is nothing but text. I have character, this is a character, this is a character. What is character? Basically character means any alphabet, any digit, any symbol that you see on your keyboard, ampersand, dollar sign, hashtag, all of these things, okay? These underscore, these are all characters. So you have this collection of characters which makes a string. Let's run for loop on this and I'll show you how it works for string. For I in brand, simply like how you write the name of the list, you have to write the name of the variable that is holding the string. Print I. Okay, this is something very common that we are doing. Okay, and let's see, let me run. What is this? Yeah, now I'll run this cell. So you see what is happening. First the I takes the first character B and it prints the value. I take the first value of brand, that is P. It took it and it printed the value. Then in the next it went up, in the next iteration I took the value A, it printed. Now you might be wondering why they are printed on new line. So print has this feature. Whenever you do printing, after the printing is done, new line character is attached on its own and the next line is reached each time you do printing. So that is about that. Okay, so that was basically for loops using string. So in this should not be over here, this I should put over here. So this is for loops using string. I could have some different codes also, but I just wanted to show you how you can do looping using strings. Now comes looping using dictionaries. So obviously I should teach you what are dictionaries. So dictionary is key value pair. What is dictionary? Dictionary is basically key value pair. So every key is attached with every value. So what we will do is we will take these here we required two lists. We required items as a different list, we required price as a different list. In dictionaries we will have just a single one. Okay, so I'll show you how. So these names of these whatever we are buying is going to be our keys and the prices is going to be the value. And how do you give value? Colon. Okay, so colon, this is 1000 rupees, comma, the second element is jean, its price is 2000 rupees, colon, the third element is sneakers, 3000 rupees, fourth element being, what was the price by the way? Yeah, it was 4000, watch for 4000 rupees, and this was, let's take 1500. So what did I do? Dictionaries, I made my two lists into a single dictionary, where in dictionaries you have key value pairs. Each what is the difference in dictionaries and lists is that shirts is not the first element, 1000 is not the first element, there is no ordering here, there is no position given. Shirt is given the value 1000, jeans is given the value 2000. That's what a dictionary looks like. Now let's do the same thing that we did. The first, if you see what we did for items in items, we printed this thing. Let's do the same thing for dictionaries. Okay, now obviously what I am, the name of my is dictionary. That time we had the list as item, now we are having as dictionary. Print item, let's see, is it giving us any thing? And what is it looping over? Is it looping over my keys, that is shirts, the first value item takes, then jeans, then sneakers, or it is taking the value as 1000, 2000, 3000, or the first value is shirts, second is 1000, then jeans. Let's see what it does. Let's print this. So what happened? What did you see? Item is taking the value of my keys. First time item takes shirts, then items takes the value jeans. So if I simply write for items in a dictionary, so I am looping over my dictionary whose name is DICT. You can see I have named my dictionary DICT, and then I am printing from this what I want, format item, whatever is item. So item is taking values as my keys. another way in which you can use and you can force your dictionary key to be taken by the item, you can actually specify that dictionary dot keys. If you write dictionary dot keys, it will do the same thing. Okay, what does it do? It basically forces the item to take keys only. First time the first key, then the second key, then the third key. What if I didn't want to the keys to be taken, I wanted the prices to be taken. Instead of this, I wanted to print your prices. Your prices. Yeah, you just like, you always, when you buy something, you get a mail or you get a message of how much amount has been removed from your credit card or something. They don't always tell you what your price is. Suppose I am expecting something like that, I want just the price. What should I do? So in such a time, I have to specify that from dictionaries you have to take the values and empty round brackets. Now when I run, now from this dictionary, item first takes the value as 1000, then the next iteration it takes the value 2000, then 3000. Why? Because I have forced, I have told for item, this is my variable that I am using. It's your wish, you can just simply use I also, and what I am telling you, you have to take the values as from my dictionary. Every time take the values. Okay, so this is where it was forced to take the values. But there's again a special feature that if you wish, you can take both of them at the same time. So let us copy our dictionary and keep it in front of us. Let's do the billing process. Okay, that's going to be more fun. Normally when you bill, when you buy something and you bill it, what does the shopkeeper give you in the bill? So you have the product that you have bought, and in front of that you have the price that you have taken. So here what we were doing, we were just printing. In the first case we printed the keys, what we bought. In the second case we printed the price, what we bought. But what if I want both of them to be printed simultaneously? So here I will have two variables. Let's take I and J. If you wish, you could actually also take it this way. For whatever will be the first thing, obviously the keys, that is first, comma values. It's your wish, okay, what you want to take. But who will take these big alphabets? I am taking I and J. I is always going to take the keys, shirts. I mean I means the first whatever you write. So I have written first I. So I will take shirts, then jeans, then stickers, watch, cap. J will take shirts, J will take 1000, 2000, 3000, like this. In what? In dictionaries, obviously my name of the dictionary is dict. But how will I force it to take both of them? I can't write dot keys because that will take only the keys, values will take only the values. So together they are called as items. Key plus value together are called as items. That is why I am telling from dictionaries take both of them, items. Okay. And what should we print now? Print I, J. What does this mean now? Now you might be wondering what is this. So I'll just show you. Okay, wait, I'll just write a format method. That's the more easier way. Print, I want something over here, I want a space, or maybe I want a colon, I want something else over here, then close the quotes. What do I want in that space? I have to write format, and inside I'll write first space, I want G. In the first space, whatever I want, I'll write that first inside format, and in the second empty curly bracket, I want J. I will print this to show you how this works, then you will understand it. So what is happening? Let's check. What is happening is the first time, the first value I takes is shirt, at the same time J takes the value 1000. So at a single time they will be taking, I and J will be key value pairs, and then I want to print. What do I want to print? I want to print a string, and the string is basically something, space, there's a space, then there's a colon, there's a space, and there is something in this curly bracket. You have to write this curly bracket. If you are not aware of how to print strings, you can watch a video from the description box below about what all you can do with strings, how you can print strings. So this is one method of printing strings, printing a text, and where you write curly brackets, empty curly bracket, and then you have closed quotes, then you have dot format written, and then inside round brackets you write what you want in the first bracket, what you want in the second bracket, in that order. So here I want I, first time I want I is the key, and then the second one I want the value. Then goes the next iteration. In the next iteration I takes the value jeans, J takes the value 2000, and that is printed, and this is going on, and this goes up till cap. So you see it is going up till cap. This is called looping over dictionaries with keys and values. You know, if we want, we could actually calculate the total amount also, because in a bill you have total amount. So what we use before, we will use the same thing, total plus equal to, this is the same as writing total is equal to total plus. Okay, what we want price, plus equal to j, because j is the values that is taken, and plus equal to is same as writing this. Okay, I'll just show you as a comment. It is same as total equal to total plus j. Okay, to make things simple we just write it like this, otherwise they have the same meaning. Okay, and now when I run this cell, sorry, I forgot to add, and at the end, what I am telling, at the end, after everything is run, please print the total. Okay, now you see down, it is printed 1500, 11,500. If I want, I can have it in a better way, print total, where it is, yeah, and equal to colon dot format. Like I prefer always to print in this dot format method. Okay, and let's see now how I get the answer. Now you see it's given total, and like this. Now for loops done with, what all we have done? We have done using for loop for list iteration, then continue statement, break statement in for loop, then how to iterate over a string, how to iterate over dictionary keys, dictionary values, and dictionary key plus value. Last we have what we call as the nested for loop. Now what is nested for loop? It is basically for loop inside another for loop, and as many inside for loops you want, you can have. But here we look at, inside a for loop we have one more for loop. That is the most common thing to do, we actually do in Python. So with an example, let me explain you first. So this is how the code of nested for will look. We have some code above the for loop, so I've written code block here. Then we have one for loop. So for I in collection, your collection can be anything, lists, dictionaries, or strings, whatever. Then colon. Immediately after that we will have another for loop for j in some other collection. Obviously the names should be different. The iteration variable here I have I have j for the next one. You can have anything. Your collection should be same or different, that also is your wish, and your collection can be anything. You know, it's not necessary that if first iteration is over list, the second also should be list. It can be of your wish. And then we have a code that has to be run for this loop of I and j, and lastly we have, after the for loop ends, we have the code block. Now let me show you with an example how the values will be taken, how the iteration will take place. So first I will start. The first value that I has to take is 1. When I will take the value first 1, j will take its first value, that is 4, and printing is I plus j. So 1 plus 4 will be printed 5. Now remember, I has taken the value 1 in the first iteration, j has taken the value 4 in the first iteration. Now this printing happened. Now again we'll go to the start of the loop. Now in the next round I will remain same, j will take the next value 5, and we'll have I1, j5, I plus 5 is 6, 1 plus 5 is 6. Then again we go up, I remain same, j will take the value 6, and we have I plus j printed as 7. Now what happens, since for a first value of I we iterated over all the value of j, Now since all the value of j is completed, in the next round now I will become 2. We will start again with the j from the starting. J will take the first value 4 and we will have our printing 6. Then I remains 2. J will take the next value, that is 5, and will print 7. Then in the next iteration I remains same 2. J will take the next value 6 and we get our output 8. Then we go up again for the next iteration. Now since for the value 2 in I, we went through all the values in j up till 6. Now I will take the next value 3. Same way it will happen. J will take 4, the next time j will take 5, I remains 3, and j will take 6, and we get our output as 9. Now when the for loop up, the program goes up again. Now it sees that we have iterated over all the elements of I. The 3 was the last element. So we come out of the loop, and whatever will be there after the loop will run. This is how for nested loops work. So these are our shirts list and jeans list. So these are the color of shirts and jeans. Now what I want to actually print and see what are the different combinations I can have for my shirt and jean pair. For this purpose I am trying to use for loop. Let's see how it works. Okay, for shirt in shirts. So here I am taking the iteration variable as a shirt. If you wish, you can just keep s also, but just for fun, you know why I am telling like this, because there are so many shirts and shirt will be taking each shirt at a time. Then for jean, I don't know if this makes any sense, in jeans. Okay, so the next iteration variable is over jeans. What do I want to print? Print the combination. Shirt color is this and jean color is this. I want to print the combination like this. It's your wish how you want to print. And in the first place I'll have the value of I, in the second place I'll have the value of j, and print done. That basically means itne combination I print that. Now let's run this. I'll explain what it is basically. Okay, so there's a problem. I didn't run this, maybe. Yeah, what did it print by the way? Okay, I did a mistake. This is not I, this is not they. We have our iteration variable as shirt and jean. Now I'll print. Okay, so let's see what we have. So there's a lot of combinations. You can see so many combinations we have. So we'll see each one in detail. So what was my code basically? My code started with take each one of the elements in shirt one by one and take elements as jean from the jeans list one by one, and print shirt and dash, I mean hyphen, and in the curly bracket I want something, then space, then jean, and then hyphen, then in the curly bracket I want something, then close the quotes that has started and opened, then dot format. In the first bracket I want whatever value shirt takes each time, and in the second value I want whatever value jeans takes each time, and close the round bracket. And after the for loop ends, print done. Obviously you can see how I've done the indentation. I've started here. Inside for loop, whatever code you write has to have indentation. I've taken 4 indentation because this I'm having the second for loop inside the for loop. Yeah, it is a part of the code that is inside, so that's why I add an indentation. Then I have another for loop, and because I had another for loop I have to have this indentation for this for purpose. Okay, and this is how it works. So if you go and see what values were taken, so let me just copy this over here so we can just understand, yeah, what are the values, that how the iteration took place. The first shirt took the value red and jeans was black, and we printed shirt red, jeans black. Shirt remains red until we go over all the elements. So next time jean became blue and shirt remained red and blue. Shirt remaining red, Jean became white and we have shirt and white. Then this happened for shirt remained red, jeans became red. Then red both were printed. Then because all the elements of jeans was completed once for red, the first element, then shirt became blue. And then we started again from black. So shirt being blue, jeans being black. Then shirt remains blue, jeans becomes the next one blue. Like this it happens for black, yellow, lavender and the whole thing, and then we had printed done. So this we have done about for loops. We'll just revise the whole thing. We learn how to use lists and iterates over lists for writing for loops in Python. Then how to use the continue statement, the break statement. Okay, we use then also how to use both of them together, continue and break, how to iterate over strings in Python for loops, then how to use dictionaries in for loops, and in dictionaries how to specifically use the keys, how to use only the values, how to use keys and values together, and of course lastly how to use a for loop inside another for loop. So if you're interested in this PPT or maybe pictures of this as a cheat sheet to revise your for loops, your break statement, your continue statement and the nested for loops, I will share this PPT or maybe image. So you can download it from the description box below. The next video for you to watch is the while loops in Python.